Guys, let's get started. And today we are going to conduct the workshop on SAP AI, and we are going to talk about across all the capabilities what we have in SAP ecosystem. Agenda what we have today for the class. So we are going to understand quickly about what is AI, what is ML, what is DL, what is difference between machine learning and deep learning, and in SAP ecosystem, what are the different domains we have of AI. Guys, we are also go into the system and do things. What is generative AI? What is SAP Joule? How Joule integration happens with the SAP application? I will show you in system also a bit. I'll give you quick all the connectivity points so that you understand end to end. So I've made it a bit simple one, and then I've made it a bit complex also. So we'll see that. And we'll test our integration is working fine or not. Then we'll go into Agentic AI, understand what is Joule skill, what is Joule agents. Maybe taking a use case, how Agentic AI can help us with one of the example. And we'll see in the system maybe how we can develop a Joule agent for Cloud ALM. Okay, we'll see that in the system. We'll look at then AI Core and AI Launchpad and Generative AI Hub as a part of AI Foundation, where we do the custom development of AI models or using the models provided by Claude or GPTs, right? All of that. And then we'll go into some embedded AI features as a standard feature inside many SAP applications we have. And then we'll look at some what is SAP Business AI and all of it. So these are the things which we are going to cover today in the call. If you want to look at the landscape, we have Joule complete build suite, which is important for the Joule. We also have AI Launchpad, AI Core. Apart from that, we have all business data cloud, cloud anti services, Databricks, build work zone, Signavio, Cloud ALM, Analytics Cloud, DataSphere, right? S4 HANA, all of this system, Lean IX, all of it. So definitely during the training, we use them as well so that we really can do things real time. One quick information about Mentors Pool. I know there are a lot of people in the call who already know us well or learning with us. So we provide training on SAP technical part only. So when I say technical, AI, DevOps, integration, automation, we are very less into functional domain. So what is something very niche with SAP, you can learn with us like SAP AI, BTP admin, BTP security, or SAP cloud security, we can say, Cloud ALM, IAG, integration suite, BTP solution architect, DataSphere, SAP Analytics Cloud, business data cloud, SAP Signavio, CAP, RAP, DevOps, automation, work zone, HANA Cloud, Lean IX, and all of it. I have written duration for each. I have written who should upskill on this as per your current profile. Let's get started with our today's plan. So what is AI and what is machine learning? Okay, let's not talk on this theory. If you want, you can just read it. Okay. AI is just simulation of human intelligence in machines, right? ML is a subset of AI that enables system to learn patterns and then make predictions. So let's understand something which you guys, all of you will correlate. Guys, you know, we are in our fifth standard or sixth standard when we were in like school kids, right? If you remember, we had learned something. So what we had learned, if you remember, we have been given some values in X and Y. Okay. So teacher asked us, so we have some X values and corresponding Y values. Okay. Can you draw this in a graph? So they said that, let's say X is equals to 2 and then Y is maybe 4. And they said X is 3 and Y is, let's say 7. And then they said X is 5 and Y is 10. That's what is happening. Can you draw this? So maybe what you'll do, you'll go to x-axis, find 2. You will go to y-axis, find 4. And then you will just quickly draw a small point. Again, you will go and search where is a y, x3 and y7. So you will just go and then draw this point, this as well. And then again, you will search for y5 and sorry, x5 and y10, and we'll go ahead and draw, put that as well somewhere. And finally, after doing this, you will create a curve, right? Correct? Something you will create like this, right? So what it is this? Actually, it's nothing but equation, right? So it could be y is equals to some x, means 3x plus something. I don't want to write variables like m and all. So just wanted to say maybe this is the equation. What is this? Actually, what you did, same type machine understands. Let's say x is your discount and y is your revenue. So I can say if I'm giving 2% discount, revenue I'm getting 4. If I'm putting 3% of discount, I'm getting revenue this much. So now see, we'll let machine know. So we'll feed this equation to machine because machine know how to do mathematical calculation. If you see, this is a pattern, or you can say this is a model, right? So now if I give the next value of x, now I can find the what will be the output, right? You can see very simple way of how a machine is working. Now this is one example where I'm saying x is discount and y is revenue. Now can I do same thing? I can say a student gets mark depending upon how much he sleep, like how many hour he sleep, how many hour he learn, and what is attendance he has. So maybe what I can do, I can let machine know a student learns through 2 hours, sleep 8 hours, and then 60% is attendance. A student learns for 4 hours, sleeps for 6 hours, and 80% attendance. And I can give him what mark he got. So maybe I can provide hundreds of these patterns to machine, and when machine will create equation out of it. Okay, we'll create a pattern out of it. And when you will put the next value, it will automatically give you results. So here I was talking about one variable, but in real use cases, we might be having multiple variable, which is actually making the, the final output. Like exam score is dependent on how many hours he's sleeping, how many hours he's learning, and what is the attendance percentage, right? So three variables are there. So three-dimensional diagrams can be opened. So I don't want to go in that depth. I guess you got the gist of it, right? So you can say it's nothing, but you can say it's a very small, tiny model. Okay, this could be a model, right? A pattern which is written in a mathematical equation. So this is what generally machine learning you can think of in a very simple way. Definitely, we can make it very complex. I know this is not the session of mathematics and statistics, how ML use, machine learning use, but just wanted to draw a figure so that we can correlate with what we learned when we were a kid. And actually, that was nothing, something like what machine learning also does. Ram, you can continue for.
So Ankit has introduced what is a vector space, what are vectors, and what is AI in general. Now let's understand what is machine learning and what is deep learning, right? So when the neuroscientists and AI engineers they got together, they wanted to understand how a human brain works, and they came across this fundamental piece called neurons, right? And then several neurons connect together to form a memory in our brains. So they wanted to do something similar, a mathematical model which has a network of neurons and across several layers. And the more neurons you pack, it becomes a very deep network, and that has more capabilities than a very slim network, right? So if we take machine learning in general, so it is basically, so normal coding is where we write the rules, where we say if something is true then do that, if something else is true then do this. Whereas in a machine learning we give it a lot of examples where we say okay, we give hundreds of images of dogs and then say okay, this is a dog, and then we give hundreds of images of cat and then we say this is cat. Same way we can give hundreds of images of a car and say this is car, right? So we don't code it, we just pass it to a machine learning model, and then it tunes itself. It will extract the features. It will look at, okay, so a cat has four legs, cat has fur, cat has eyes, and the eyes are like this, like that. It can extract whatever feature it wants, and each of these features have some weight in the neural network. And then it now understands cat by this process of giving hundreds of thousands of examples. This process is called training a model. Once a model is trained, Then when you give a new image of a different cat, maybe that cat was not part of your training data set, you give a different image, and then the model will be able to predict or classify whether it is a cat or a dog or a car, right? And if it is not a car, it will say not a car. If it is not any of them, it will say, okay, this is not any of those things that I learned, right? So this is something we were not coding it to do. We coded a basic interface to create or to train a model, and then that model itself extracted features, it trained, and it kept some weightages, and these weights are called basically the neural network, and then it uses this network to basically classify all these images, right? So this process basically shifts how we work, right? So we don't code anymore, so the machine itself extracts features based on hundreds of examples. Now again, this is the traditional machine learning. Now if you come to this generative AI, or this latest AI and gen AI in general, there are several companies who do this model training for you, right? So this is called pre-training, because they train on a huge vast array of data. So when we train it, we will have maybe 100 examples of cat or 1,000 examples of cat and dog and so on, and we create a very specific purpose model, and it's already a costly activity, right? So you have to, when this model training is running, it consumes a lot of GPU hours and so on. So it's a very costly activity. So we train very specific models. But now there are these big companies like OpenAI and Cloud and Anthropic, right? So they basically train on a huge set of data, huge set of both text data and image data if it's a multi-model. And based on this training, you now don't have a very specific model. You have a very generic model, which can do a lot of tasks. And these types of models are called your foundation models. And if it is only text-based model, it is called a large language model, LLM. And if it is only an image model, then it might be based on the diffusion architecture. Then it's called a diffusion model. Or if it does handle multiple types of input, like it handles text, it handles audio, it handles images, then we call it a multi-model, right? So nowadays, more and more models that are being trained and released into the market are of this type, which are all multi-models, right? So again, now because of this availability of this generic models out of box, the way we program again has shifted, right? So previously we wrote the rules, and then later in the machine learning era, the machine extracted the features. Now in the generative AI era, you have a pre-trained model. You just have to ask, right? So you just have to give it a prompt, and then it will do a lot of things out of box, right? So you don't have to train it even. So you don't have to give a lot of examples to train it to do something. It is pre-trained for you by this company. So you just have to pay the API cost or the token based cost, and then you can ask it to do a lot of tasks, right? So that is where the paradigm has shifted from programming to machine learning to generative AI. Yeah, maybe we can go to next slide. Okay, so now we are going to talk about how is all this coming together in a SAP AI ecosystem, right? So SAP as a company, when there was a movement to cloud, SAP also started to move to cloud. So SAP released SAP BTP and so on. And now there is a shift to AI and especially generative AI. So SAP also moves with the flow and the trend. So SAP is also into this AI ecosystem, and broadly classifying the SAP AI strategy, it is like this, right? So we have the Joule ecosystem. Joule is going to be the SAP's experience layer. So it's going to be, so currently, if you see, there are multiple interfaces with which we can work with SAP, right? So we have SAP for me, we have SAP BTP, we have SAP Launchpad, we have multiple interfaces where users have to log in and do their specific task. But what SAP wants to do is they want to create a Joule that is going to be omnipresent, right? So this omnipresent Joule can do multiple things within SAP tools and even outside SAP tools. It can connect to your mailbox, it can connect to your calendar, it can connect to your Telegram channel, it can do multiple things. That's why it's called the omnipresent Joule. Right. So with this Joule, SAP is trying to create an experience layer. So where the user can ask what they want to do. they can basically say, did we get any new request for quotation? And then it will check your mailbox and see if any new customers have, any prospective customers have mailed you, right? From that mail, it will say, okay, yeah, this many customers have mailed you. And then the conversation can continue. The user can say, okay, then go ahead and create the purchase orders or create the document. Even if the user doesn't know what document to create, they can say, okay, put the order into the system and the Joule will handle that, right? So to do this, there are some SAP already created Joule skills or Joule agents. And then SAP also allows the customer to create their own Joule agents and Joule skills. There is a build app uh, capability, which is called Joule Studio, that allows you to create this type of Joule agents and Joule skills. And it is a very low code, no code tool. Like I said, so the paradigm has shifted, right? So we are not going to anymore sit and write Python code or Java code or JavaScript or anything. We are just going to talk to the agent. We are just going to say in plain English what should happen, just a bit of instructions, right? And then that will become either a Joule skill or a Joule agent, and that will help us to do some custom tasks that we used to do. Right? So that is the first piece, which is the Joule layer. Right? And then SAP has the second piece, which is called business AI. Right? So these are the pre-built AI capabilities that SAP is embedding into the different SAP products. So if you take SAP S4 HANA, there are multiple business AI capabilities. And if you take success factors, there are multiple business AI capabilities. If you take SAP Analytics Cloud, there are multiple business AI capabilities, right? So maybe we'll go to the Discovery Center and show you some of this business AI capabilities, but these are all pre-built and they are out of box. So if you're using a particular SAP product, then you can check out this Discovery Center and find out, okay, what type of business AI capabilities are SAP giving to us for this product. Right? So once you know that, you can make use of it. Some of them may be included with the product itself in the same licensing. Most of them might be additionally chargeable. It might consume your AI units and so on. That's the business AI part. Okay, so the last piece is called the AI Foundation, right? So this is where SAP acts like an aggregator of AI models. So there are a lot of companies that are creating this AI models, right? For example, from AWS Bedrock, they have Amazon Nova models, and they have the Anthropic Cloud models. And from Azure, they have OpenAI models, and they have NVIDIA models, they have Mistral models, and like that, they have, at least 50, 60 models out there, like which are the foundation models. So SAP aggregates all of these models together in something known as a Gen AI Hub, right? So they have all these pre-delivered models, so which you can use in your own coding, right? So you want to build an AI application in either Python or JavaScript. There are SDKs for all the languages. We have mainly for Python, JavaScript, Java, etc. So you can build your own AI application using this AI Core and AI Launchpad using foundation models. But even before this foundation models were a thing, like even before this Gen AI was a thing, people were doing general machine learning or the classic machine learning, where you have to train your own model, like a house price prediction model, and then you want to test it, and then you want to deploy it, and then use the model to predict house prices, right? So that's called a classic machine learning scenario, which was already there in AI Core, right? So AI Core was first created to create this type of classic machine learning scenario. But later, when Gen AI became a popular thing, then they included Gen AI also inside the AI Core and AI Launchpad itself. So AI Core and AI Launchpad will support both, right? So they'll support the classic machine learning scenario where you yourself train a model, test a model, deploy it, and use it for predictions. Or you can use a foundation model, which is pre-delivered. So you just create a configuration, you create a deployment, it gets deployed, and then you can build an application using that model. Right? So this is the core strategy or core structure of how SAP delivers its AI solutions. So the primary piece is Joule and its experience layer. And then the next piece is business AI, where SAP's pre-built capabilities are there into all SAP products. And the last piece is AI Foundation, which is where SAP collaborates with a lot of its ecosystem partners and get the AI Foundation models and deliver it in the Gen AI Hub. So next, maybe Ankit will take you through the Joule experience layer.
Thank you, Ram. So I will just go ahead and help them with the uh, how the landscape will look like for Joule and how Joule can be integrated. What is generative AI? All of you know. You are all using ChatGPT, Claude. I don't need to explain this. You can just refer this slide, right? Like Joule, like we have many other public tool of generative AI. We have Joule as well in SAP, right? So we have a Joule and which can become a chat bot, you can say, for you. And we can have this set up with all SAP applications, and we can ask questions and it can respond us. So Joule is, you can say, like chat GPT, but specially for SAP landscape and ecosystem. Now we have to understand how the Joule will integrate and work with our multiple systems we have in landscape. So let's understand this, okay? And so that it becomes very easy for you. You guys all are aware of, we have a lot of systems in landscape. We have success factors, we have S4, we have Ariba, we have SAP Analytics Cloud. So I'll just quickly write SAC, Ariba, and success factors and S4, all these solutions. Now you want to use Joule with them. You want to integrate Joule with them. Okay. So now Joule will need access to them, right? Joule need access to them so that Joule really can go behind SAC database, SAC models, and can reply you. Or Joule can reach out to Ariba and can check the data and found the details and then reply you whatever you're asking for correspond to this system. We have a tool called Build Work Zone. Build Work Zone. What Build Work Zone does? Very simple. You can connect Build Work Zone with all these systems. Okay. Like we have Fiori Launchpad in on-premise, MM, PP, QM, TM, all modules we have in S4. We can centrally work on all of them by one centralized launchpad called Fiori Launchpad in S4. Similarly, SAP in Cloud came up with the tool called Build Work Zone. Inside Build Work Zone, we can go and create a site. Okay. Inside this site, we can embed the SAC UI. We can embed the Ariba UI. We can embed the SuccessFactor UI. We can embed the S4 UI. So let's say I have created a site in which I can create some sections like this. Maybe here I have embedded SuccessFactor UI, Ariba UI, SF UI, all of it. Now, my business people don't need to log in into SAC, don't need to log in into Ariba, don't need to log in into S4. They can work in all of this system just being on build work zone. Okay. So for this setup, you have to integrate all of these tools with build work zone. So now build work zone have UI available here. So what SAP said? SAP said we already have this available. Why can't we do one thing? Let's not Joule connect with all of this. Let's have a Joule here and Joule will connect to work zone. Okay. And work zone, any we have all the apps and UI available for all of it. Now you will ask Ankit, if people are accessing this build work zone, how will work zone will decide their what access they have in the system? So for that, guys, we have a separate tool called SAP IPS. SAP IPS. Full form of this Identity Provisioning Service. What we can do, we can connect all of these systems with IPS. IPS job is it will read all users and authorizations of all of those users from all of these systems separately one by one, and it will replicate all these users along with the authorizations into build work zone. So with this integration, we fetch the UI of all of this system. With IPS replicated users and authorization of all the users in this work zone. Now, work zone is aware of all the apps. Work zone is aware of users. Work zone is available of roles assigned to them. Correct? So now work zone have full information. Who have what access? Which Joule is also using. So Joule will just create a connection with work zone. We'll use the full functionality of work zone. Who have what access? Everything it's there in work zone. Now, when you integrate Joule with work zone, there is one Joule icon will come with the in work zone. And now every user who will hit the, or let's say you have 500 users in your customer landscape, right? Now, see, this also will hit the URL of build work zone and open build work zone site. This also will open build work zone site. This also will open build work zone site. So they will see only required UI or only required user interface for each of them as per role what they have. And they will see the Joule icon. And so when they will ask any question here, so Joule can really go to this system, find those data and reply them. And if they're asking something for which they don't have authorization, it will say you don't have authorization also, right? So if you want to look at this, see, I have just designed a very clean picture here. Okay. Now this is our BTP sub account in which we have Joule running, we have build work zone running, we have connected also S4 Fiori Launchpad I have fetched here, right? In build work zone, Joule is coming. Now one more piece of it. Guys, there is one more requirement. SAP IAS is a tool which is authentication provider. So people, when they log in into S4, SAP IAS authenticates them. When they log in into S4, a success factor, again IPS authenticates them. When they log in into SAC, again IAS authenticate them. Same, even they log in into a work zone, IAS authenticates them. So IAS is a tool we have on BTP, which stores all the users' data across the organization, and it provides authentication mechanism. So when we create a trust with all of this system with IAS, IAS will always authenticate them. So even work zone also is connected to IAS only, which will authenticate. So let's look at this complete setup, how this all will happen. So guys, we have already available lot of things we need. So let's look at this figure, what all things we need. So our use cases, I want to integrate SAP Analytics Cloud with Joule. I want to integrate SAP Analytics Cloud with Joule. Okay. SAP Analytics Cloud, I have a system, so I can just quickly show you. So I have SAP Analytics Cloud. So this is my SAP Analytics Cloud. I'm logging in. And if you see, I'm authenticating to SAP Analytics Cloud with IAS. And this is the URL of IAS. Okay. So I'll go and authenticate. Similarly, I need to authenticate. So now I need other systems. So I need Joule. I need build work zone. So these are services available on BTP, which I have subscribed on BTP in one of the sub account. So I have a Joule available here. I have build work zone available here. So this is my sub account. So let's match every single thing. And also I have SAP IAS. So this is my SAP IAS. This is SAP IAS. This is SAP Analytics Cloud. Let me open the work zone. This is my build work zone. Okay. And IS, IPS are a part of same system called Cloud Identity Services. So now let me duplicate this. So same system. This is IS portion. This is IS. This is IS, and this is IS. But one section is for IPS. So this is my IPS system. So let me open that. Now let's understand one by one. Okay. Okay. So now to achieve this integration, what all things I need? I need SAP Joule, which I showed you in a sub account. I need, okay, so SAC I'm saying, right? 1 second. I'll go to this diagram. And SAC I need, I have SAC, I have IS, everything I have in my landscape. Okay. Now, how will start this integration? So very first option, what SAP gives, SAP says that this is your global account of BTP. Very first thing what you have to do, you have to go and create a formation for this integration. So in global account level, we have centralized all the systems what we have in a customer landscape will be visible here. And in this, see all the systems which are available. Okay. I will go into, guys, please mute yourself, not speaking.
Ankit, you are on mute,
You are
Ankit.
on mute. Ankit, you are on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I guess my team is muting everyone when, so that's why I also got muted. Sorry. In this Joule, in this integration with Joule, so I need SAP IAS also. I need SAP Analytics also. I need Build Work Zone also. I need Joule also. So I clubbed all of them in one formation. So guys, formation is on BTP represents in a particular scenario how many systems are involved. So you can just include all of them in formation and they all get synchronized, do some set of connectivity automatically between them, which is managed by SAP. We don't need to do it manually. SAP automatically do some backend level of connectivity when we add them in a formation, and it is a predefined task. It executes a script and make all of them synchronized. Some level of integrations happen. So very first job is creating this formation. Definitely before this, you should have SAP IS in your landscape. You have to have SAC,
So
SAP
Ankit,
Analytics Cloud in your landscape. You should have Build Work Zone in your landscape. All of this you have to already have it, right? Anyways, it's already
Ankit,
available.
1 minute. Ankit, so there are some confusion about IAS and IPS in the chat. So maybe if you can take that question, basically.
Okay. So guys, SAP IS is nothing but a system. Okay. So let me help you what SAP IS. Let's say you have success factor, you have field glass, you have S4, you have multiple systems in landscape. Now see, SAP IS is a identity provider. Okay, identity provider. Now let's say someone let's say you have 10,000 employees, and let's say 100 employees would be easy to understand actually. So if 100 employees need access to S4, so you have to create user and manage in S4. If 100 employee want to access success factor, so you have to again create users here in success factor and manage them. Again, Ariba, you have to create all 100 users here. This is very bad way, right? Again, I'm managing users. So SAP IAS is one tool where we can manage users in one single place for all the organization. And we can create trust with this IS to this all systems separately, right? Now what will happen? As soon as I will onboard all my employees here, they will get an email, they will activate their password and user ID. Okay. Now any employee hitting URL of this goes in IS and authenticate with same user ID password. If hit URL of this goes and authenticate from here only. If he hit URL of this goes and authenticate from here only. If he hit URL of this, he goes and authenticate here. So see, very nice, right? Only one user ID password, you can say single sign-on facility. So it provides user storage and single sign-on facility. So you're not maintaining users again and again, but just one centralized use. This is IES. Yeah. So this is your IES. What is IPS? IPS is a system from one system to other system. If you want to replicate the users, so IPS can do that. So you can connect a system as a source and then connect a system as a target. It can replicate users from here to here. It could be any case. So in our scenario, I want users from SAC to be replicated to build work zone, so that build work zone is aware of that what authorizations people have, SAC people have in SAC, so that they can only ask questions, relevant questions, so that it only Joule only can reply. Otherwise, let's say he don't have access to a sales model and he's trying to ask question about sales model, so then he will not get answer because he don't have access. So how work zone will get to know? IPS will replicate users and authorization. Okay, so now guys, let's not I will just again go ahead on the same what I was doing. So I told you what is IES and what is IPS. So we'll create this formation and one synchronization will happen. Okay, the next step is we have to integrate this build work zone with SAP Analytics Cloud. I clearly told you build work zone is running in one of my sub account. So let me go to this sub account, global account. In this, I have a SAP build sub account in which I have build work zone running. So if I go into instances and subscription, you see my build work zone is running. Everyone is aware once one system want to talk to other system, it will have to create a connection. So on BTP, destination is a place where we create a connection. So I will go to destination and here I will create a connection for build work zone. As per use case we have, generally I'm not going to teach you integrations and all. There are a lot of concepts there. So I have created two destination. One is SAC design time destination, and one is SAC runtime destination. It means these two destinations are reaching to see SAP Analytics Cloud. You see SAC and reaching to SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay. So I have built, this is sub account in which build work zone is running. I have created destination where I have provided URL of SAC, and SAC is my separate system running here, right? So now once I provide the SAC, it means that the destination is reaching out to SAP Analytics Cloud. Now this destination I will go and consume inside build work zone. So what I will do, I will go into build work zone. I will launch the tool. So let me launch the build work zone tool. So this is my build work zone. Build work zone. Let me launch this. Inside build work zone, I can create channels for each system. I want to add success factors. So I will create design time destination, runtime destination for success factor. If I want to connect with SAC, then I will create design time destination, runtime destination for SAP. So I'll click on new. Okay. And let's say I want to create channel for SAC. So I'll create, say, SAC Mentors Pool channel. Okay. And then here I will provide the destination which I have created. Design time destination, runtime destination. Okay. All of this. I'll provide it and click on save. I already have done it, so I'm not doing it. Okay. See, Mentors SAC channel is available. Once I do this channel, this will get updated. It will say created and updated. And if you see the report, it will show you report also, how many apps it fetched from SAC, how many roles it fetched from SAC, how many URLs it fetched from SAC. Or if I go in Content Manager, I will be able to see the SAP Analytics Cloud related applications and all here available, visible here. So it is fetched from there. So if I again look at the diagram, see what we did till now. We have build work zone running here. We created destination, connected with SAC, and now SAC apps are visible. Or if I connect to S4, S4 apps would be visible. S4 Fury. This much of setup is done. So now work zone is available for is aware of the all the UI content for that. Now build work zone need to know about the users of SAC and their authorizations as well. So now I will go into IPS. So SAP IPS is a system which helps me to do that. So let me, where I have opened. So this is SAP IPS. See, Cloud Identity Services. It has two tools inside it. Actually three, but I'll take two only. One SAP IES, one is SAP IPS. So in IPS, you will go and add a source system. See, identity provisioning. Identity means user. Provisioning means user creation. Provisioning means create, deploy, something, right? So here I will add, see, I have added SAC as a source system. And again, I have provided the SAC credential here, right? And so it will be go to SAP and fetch all users. And then it will, and in target system, I have said, I see I have added build work zone. And build work zone also have connected as a target system here. So once I do, I go and run a job. So in SAC, I will go and run a job. This is SAC. I can go and run a job here. Once I will run a job, I will see that, go and see the provisioning job, and you will see job will be successful. It will read users and will update. So it is, see, it is reading users from build work zone and creating or updating users in build work zone. With this setup, I will get my build work zone is aware of now what all users and what all authorizations have. Now inside this, okay, in work zone, what I will do, I will go inside work zone. Where is the work zone? Uh, yeah. So this is site I have created. I will open this site. Okay. In this site, guys, we have to enable work Joule. So let me go to the setting of site. Once I go to set, once all of this setup is done, you will go to setting of site, and here you will enable Joule. So yeah, Joule. See, I have to enable the Joule. As soon as I enable the Joule and do all of this setting, sorry, I'll cancel this. Okay, I will go to site now again. Now, once I enable this after all of this setting, then Joule option will come here. Okay, and this Joule option will come. Now I can start asking questions to Joule about SAC data. Guys, definitely have to do some settings in SAC. Also have to index a model for Joule. All of that I have to do. Okay, I don't have that much of time to show you, right? Definitely in our detailed session, we'll do all of this step by step and show you so that you can do it. So now let's test it. So after all of this, see, IPS came in a picture, IES came in the picture where I have created trust. So let me show you how I created trust with IES, that I did not show that piece. So in SAP Analytics Cloud, if you go into system, if you go into administration, okay, and if you go into let me make the screen big, security, see, I have created my same ISC AED. See, AED, same IS. I've created trust with this. Even in build work zone sub account, this is build work zone sub account, right? And build work zone running. In this also, see, I have created a trust with same IAS that we have cloud and services. If you, I'll show you. See, AED, same tenant ID, both. So this is trust part I was talking about. Okay. Now I will open my site. Okay, so let's test this. So if you look at the diagram, what we did, we connected it, IPS source target will do, then IS trust also we had created already, right? And Joule, how Joule will connect with build work zone, that also let me show you. So Joule is running in this sub account. Let me open the sub account. Where is sub account? Okay, I guess it's there in very first page. Yeah, this is sub account. So Joule also will create a destination to build work zone, and which automatically happens when you add them in formation. So we'll see there is a build work zone. See, SWZ Joule. So Joule have created a destination to build work zone. So now Joule is also connected to work zone, which I was talking about. See, through a destination, right? And I enabled the icon also here, right? All of this is done. Now let's go and test. So let's ask some questions to Joule for SAC. So I will go inside this. Where is my site? Okay, this is my site. Let me launch my site. And in this site, Joule icon is coming. And now I can ask question. Message send. So if all setup is done, it will really respond us. It will go to SAC. It will search the model, which is sales model or whatever, and then it will fetch the data and will show me the results. So let's wait. Definitely, it's trying to get result. See, he created the chart, and this is actually coming from SAC. So wait a minute, it's still coming. So maybe I can make this big. See, chart is created now. So this chart is in SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay. Similarly, I can ask more questions. Let's say I ask this question to me. Where is my question? So now it will give different result. So how was the total revenue by product for last quarter? So now again it will go to SAC and search. So definitely, guys, if all of the setting is done, then only it will happen. Guys, it's not so simple. It took 7-8 hours for me to set up everything. Okay, at least, because and that too, I know the IAS, I know IPS, everything. Then if someone is very new, it will take a lot of time. See, it gave me the results. So see, centrally now, similarly, I can connect. Now I did connection with SAC, but I can connect success factor, I can connect Ariba, I can connect all of them, and I can ask questions about all the system being centrally here. Okay.
Ankit, Khaja here. One question. How it is different from just task? Can we have in Joule? Can I ask
So
what would be my sale?
this is
Can you
going
hear
to
me?
replace Just Ask. So this is in the early stages. In this year, mid of this year, the Joule will be introduced into SAC itself. But there are two versions of Joule, right? The one that Ankit was showing you, that Joule is your typical Joule that is available everywhere, like inside BTP. So there, SAC is a skill, right? So if you have some operational data also, if you wanted to create a chart out of it, it will directly create the chart without you having to go into SAC. That's that part of Joule. But also inside SAC itself, you are right. There is Just Ask, and Just Ask is doing everything like chart creation and all this, indexing the model, everything. But that Just Ask will be replaced by Joule. And this Joule is going to have additional capabilities. Now, this Joule that is coming into SAC, you can create stories by just prompting it. You can create models by just prompting it. You can create story level scripts by just prompting it. You can create advanced formulas by prompting it. So whatever was difficult in SAC, all that will be handled by that Joule, which is integrated, and then that will eventually replace the Just Ask also.
Is it having predictive capabilities? Like, can I ask what would be my sales in 2030? Will Joule answer it?
Yes, that is coming in BDC. So in BDC, they are integrating a Joule that can do that predictive and planning and all that part. But yeah, I mean, when we say BDC, it is going to use some SAC capability and some data sphere capability and some seamless planning capability, and it will answer that, yes. And if you want a demo, you can see in YouTube, if you search for last year's Sapphire, the SAC Joule, then you will see this exact Joule I'm talking about. If I find a link, I'll ping it in the chat now.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Hi, Ram.
Because only thing what is, yeah, continue.
Okay, maybe we'll do the Q&A a little bit later. I think Ankit, let Ankit finish. And then, yeah.
So guys, see, like this process exactly same. Okay. And guys, it's not so simple. Lot of things are there. Even just for this work zone and this integration, there are a lot of setups are there which you need to do. Okay. Principal propagation setup, content federation setup, a lot of things are there. Definitely that all we can do in our real sessions, but I just wanted to give you a walkthrough. That's all on this part, Ram. I want to cover how to integrate Joule with any one of the solutions, and SAC is the one example I just took. It can be replicated similarly for any other systems also. Now you can pick up the Agentic AI part. You can share your screen.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, so let me know once you can see my screen. Yeah, Ankit, and if you can answer some of the questions in the chat, then there are a lot of questions actually. Some the team was answering.
Okay, sure.
Hi, Ram. If I need to generate the same report which you have done now, so I should have access for SAC and Joule, right?
Yes, you have to have access for SAC and Joule. Because this someone has asked a question also, how is the Joule doing this? Is it a MCP server? No, it is actually doing a call to this Just Ask only. So far what they are doing is the Just Ask is the service that is doing the indexing of the models, and it is doing the querying of the models, everything. Joule is just handing over whatever the user asks, it will fine tune the query. So if I ask something, if I give a bad prompt also, it uses OpenAI GPT-4 models and it will optimize the prompt, and then it will give that prompt to Just Ask, and then Just Ask prepares the chart and give it back to Joule. So basically you need to have a SSC account and also Joule access, then only you can do this.
Okay, is it mandatory to have build work zone? Because let's say if I don't have build work zone, is it possible to deploy Joule for all these apps?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
So that's the studio, like that's the process. I mean, that's where you build it basically.
And also
Okay.
that's how Joule takes decision what user have what access. Okay, because work zone only is aware of that people have different access across different systems and what it has. So build work zone has that information via IPS, and then Joule uses that.
And Ankit, I have a
If
question.
if you only have S4 HANA, then I think you can integrate Joule with the Fury Launchpad. I mean, if you don't have
if
the
you
other
want,
stuff.
if you want Joule as a screen inside a particular application, okay, it can happen. But if you want a Joule to be on a centralized launchpad and do things for you, then you need build work zone 100%.
Okay, great.
So,
It's a build work zone is a one-stop solution for all these.
Yes.
Ram and
guys,
Ankit, can we
that's
continue
where,
the session, please?
Yeah, we'll continue
Let's
the
finish
session.
the session. Yeah.
Yes. So one thing to clarify a lot of your questions, right? So there are two types of Joule basically, right? So one is the one that is integrated into an application. For example, here you see we have BTP cockpit. SAP has integrated a Joule here. This type of Joule integration you will see
your
in many
screen is not
applications.
shared, Ram. If you are trying to share screen.
Yeah, your screen is not shared.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is visible.
Yeah.
Okay, so this type of Joule icon, this gem, right? So you will see in many places. You will see in HANA systems, you will see in BTP and everywhere. So this is what a embedded Joule will look like. So when I said SAC, the Joule is going to replace Just Ask, that is the embedded version of Joule that SAP is building, right? So for this Joule, yeah, you don't need a build work zone because it's not a centralized Joule. What Ankit was saying is a centralized Joule. That's also, I mean, the colloquial name they use for it is called omnipresent Joule, right? It can orchestrate between multiple products. So that's where Ankit was showing the slide where he was showing Ariba, SAC, and all that. So it basically, you ask one question, it might get data from your mail or from one of your operational systems, and then it will do multiple things in one place, right? So it is the custom Joule. You can also create custom skills and custom agents, and basically you can deploy it as your Joule, right? So it's your version or your company's version of Joule, not the SAP delivered, pre-delivered version of Joule.
Yeah. So
But
guys, if you
Ram,
see for
Ankit, I have one small question. So Ram, without creating any separate skills, can Joule read the actual data? I mean, can fetch the data from the applications?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
in the embedded Joule,
if I
in
want
that
to
particular
fetch,
application, it can fetch the data. Yes.
if I want to fetch, a maintenance order from the S4, without
Yes.
creating any
So
separate
guys,
skills, will it fail?
because we are running short on time, we'll do a last 15-20 minutes of Q&A. Let's run through all the things that we wanted to show you. And then maybe at the end, we'll do a complete Q&A.
okay,
Someone muted me.
Ram, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do the Q&A at the end so that we don't run out of time, right? So we will continue whatever we wanted to show you, and then maybe we'll give you the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then we can do the Q&A and we can close, right? So I wanted to show you something which is about this agentic Joule or the MCP connectivity of Joule and so on. So we have one. How many of you know about Cloud ALM or SAP CALM? It's a quick show of hands, maybe. Yes. So, SAP has been pushing this Cloud ALM a little bit more this year, and then there have been a lot of adoptions from the customer side also. Okay, thank you. So, this Cloud ALM is gaining traction. So, one of our fellow mentors, he created a Cloud ALM agent. So this agent allows, so Cloud ALM is basically a project lifecycle management tool, right? So you can, if you have a project deliverables, if you want to do change control, if you want to do anything in a project lifecycle management scenario, like how you would use a ServiceNow or any other tool, Jira or any other tool, you can also use Cloud ALM, which is a SAP product. Now this Cloud ALM is a separate system, right? So it has all this project information. It knows which project is open, which project is closed, and what is the status of a particular project and all that, right? Now here we have the SAP build, right? So in this, we can create, if we go to create, we can create multiple things, right? So we have created a Cloud ALM agent. So let me take you there. This is another tool, which is called a Joule Studio, right? So this is where you create these types of Joule agents, right? So when we say create, you don't have to write any codes. You have to write prompts, and then you have to connect to tools, right? And this prompt also, you can get it. I mean, you can write your own prompt, but the better way to write this prompt is a technique called meta prompting, where you go to AI and then say your requirement and let the AI write the prompt, and then you can use the prompt here, right? So if you come here, this is what, first I'll show you the tool, what it does, and then maybe we'll talk about how it does that, right? So let's run it in test mode.
CALM is replacement of solution manager.
Correct. So now a solution manager is no longer going to be right after some time. So CALM we are going to use. So Ram is asking some questions about ALM.
Okay,
So it's
so
our
I can
custom
just
agent. Go ahead,
exactly.
Ram.
Yeah, so we can just ask it in natural language wise, right? So if you are a user or if you are a project manager, you don't even have to go into the Cloud ALM to know this, right? So you can just ask your agent, and then it will go and it will do all the digging for you, and then it will bring back the answer in a nice formatted way. Right. So all that is given in the instruction, how it should be formatted, what it should bring about, and all that. So if you see here, it says, okay, it says a bunch of things. So these are all the projects. It returned as a table, and then it shows the status of the project. C is for closed, O is for open, and then it also shows what is the purpose and all that, right? And then I can do further things. I can basically say I want to see only the projects that are on track or that are currently open or that are currently closed and all that, right? Again, I don't have to go and struggle where to filter or how to filter and all that. Just like how a project manager will ask his subordinate some question, we can just ask, can you show me only completed projects? Right. So now it will automatically apply a filter. Right. So all this is happening by multiple systems coordinating with each other. Right. And for this, maybe let this query run, and then I'll take you back to the configuration.
So even if you had connected Joule directly to come, just the way we had connected SAC and other applications, we possibly would have got the same result without the agent setup or not.
Possibly, yes. I mean, if you have the data coming into SAC, but then you will have to ask a question against a model, right? So you created a model, you have to fetch data into the model, and then you are saying using just ask or something, you can ask these questions. Is that it?
Right, right. I mean, like forget about SAC, but the other application, like we had done the setup, we had connected to SAC, SSF, and S4. Similarly, if we have SAP CAM as one of those applications, then why this agent is needed, right? I mean, we would have got the similar kind of results, right? Because it's now connected to Joule directly, and we are fetching the data from CAM and giving those responses. So that agent part, I'm still trying to understand what role does it play
So see,
versus.
we are just showing you a use case. There could be multiple
Okay, got
use
it.
cases where you want you to build an agent, right? Yeah, if Joule is can be integrated directly with Cloud ALM, then definitely we can achieve that automatically, right? But because here we want to teach you what agent is, what it can do. So even something here, it's not about just conversational AI, but if I want some actions to be performed, delete something, create something, or do something in a target system, right? That we can
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
achieve
Okay,
by
got it.
same thing with, and
Yeah.
what will be the technical process that I want to take you through.
Okay,
Perfect,
so think
perfect.
of this in this framework. So I, as a person, every day I will have a set of tasks to do at my job, right? So the more tasks I can hand over to a AI and that it can do it itself, that is a less task for me. That's one less activity for me. So now, how can I hand over this activity to AI? So just like in our teams, if we have interns or some junior persons, how would you give handover, right? So you will explain them in detail what they need to do, right? So you will say, okay, these are the inputs, these are the constraints, and this is how the output should be, so that they'll go and become successful in that task, right? So again, will they get it right the first time? No, most probably not. And then you will see what more instructions you can give to them based on what they produce, right? So you told them some instructions, they came back with their finished work, you see their work, and then you give feedback. So the same kind of iterative development you do in this instructions also. So see the instructions. So basically you give the expertise, you say, okay, you are a Cloud ALM expert, and then you give bunch of instructions, right? So you see what are all the capabilities it can do, and what are all the knowledges it covers, and what is the communication style it should be, how it should communicate, and then when the user asks about a particular thing, what it should return and all that. And it also has additional context, right? And not only that, you can select which model, right? So you can decide. So for some of the tasks you need very simple models and very fast models, but some of the tasks which is very complex, you need a better reasoning model, and then you will give those models. And also you will give how many tokens you want to spend on thinking, right? So if it's a very complex task, it has to do some architecture level decisions and everything, you give more tokens to thinking. But if it's a very simple task, it's going to give some output, it's just going to be some conversational, then you will reduce the thinking tokens, right? And here is the important part. So how is all this happening, right? So how is this agent getting the data from Cloud ALM, right? So that's where Shiva, one of the mentors, he created this Cloud ALM MCP, so which is running in another sub account, and then we have connected to that particular MCP server here, right? And that's how this particular agent is basically working. So that MCP has a couple of tools to get the project status and to find a particular project and things like that, right? So it has three of this API calls or API wrappers into MCP, and that's how it is basically working, right? So basically, when you create in Joule Studio an agent, you have to think of this mental framework. You are handing over activity to an intern, right? So whatever will you give to this intern? You will give a set of instructions. You will say some useful links. You will give them tools. You will say, okay, this is the database where this is. So go to that database. Here is the username, password, or here is your account. So you give all these details to that particular Joule agent, and then it will be successful. And will it be successful in the first time? No, you have to see the result, and that's where this testing comes in. So it will go into the test mode. You will see the result, right? So you will keep testing it. You will have a conversation with it, and then you come back, you adjust the agent, and then again you stop and start testing the new agent. And once you get to a point where you feel like, okay, this is much better, that's when you release the agent for productive use. Until then, it will be an iterative process. So you will currently test it, and then you will not you means you a single person. You can be a team. Multiple people can interact with it, because if you are a developer, you always follow the happy path. If you have other testers, they'll put in some other natural language queries that might fail. So you keep improving this, and at certain point, it will feel like, okay, it is able to accomplish the task. That's where you have to release it, right? So this mental model always helps you. So when creating agents or when creating Claude skills, etc., the mental model that you are handing over one of your activity to an intern, right? So that mental model really helps you, because that's how you have to explain it to this AI also. So you can assume that it is very intelligent, but at the same time, you have to give exactly what you want, and you have to give access to all the tools it needs to complete that task. Maybe behind all this, there are some technical infrastructure level things. Maybe Ankit, if you want to take few minutes and show that. Yeah.
Sure, why not? I can quickly show them if they want. So guys, as we see here, we need, right, we want ALM, right? So we already have Cloud ALM, and sorry, my session got expired. I will just re-log in here. Okay, so this is my Cloud ALM sub account in which my Cloud ALM running, and we can definitely go and open Cloud ALM and see the implementation portion of it, where we can see all the projects we have in ALM. I just want to connect the dots, so I'm trying to just open this. Okay, so I've created a diagram also for this. Okay, if you see this, so we have Cloud ALM running one where, and we have one MCP server. So MCP server is doing nothing. It has some JavaScript which is calling the ALM APIs, right? Maybe I want to see the project status APIs, I will call. I want to see the total number of projects, I will call the API which can count total of number of projects in ALM running, right? So with that, what happens? So let me launch the ALM. I'll have to log in. Okay, so now I said Cloud ALM is running here. Similarly, we have MCP server. So MCP server actually we have deployed in Cloud Foundry. So it's a small JavaScript which we have asked this to call some APIs of ALM. So there is one another sub account in which we have deployed this MCP server. So I'm just trying to open that sub account as well actually. Yes, guys, sometimes this, it is taking some time to load.
Ankit, don't we need any MCP servers in between SAC and the build work zone?
So see, that's what just ask we are using, which is already available. It's a pre-build for querying two data models, right? So we are not dependent on our custom, any custom thing. Just ask is providing that feature to let us talk to the model. So Joule is talking to just ask inside SAC. Okay. Now, if I go and show you in the Cloud Foundry, we have deployed a MCP server. So if I go inside this space in Cloud Foundry, see, we have deployed a Calm MCP server, which is running actually. Okay. And from that another sub account in which my Joule is running, like, okay, so I have to open that yeah, in this we have build, right, in which Joule is running, or in which the complete Joule Studio is running. In this I have create, then definitely you see there is a connection in the when the Ram was showing this screen, right? So there is a connection available there for MCP server, you saw, right? It was available there, right? So we have created a destination actually to this, the MCP server, which is running in different sub account. So my Joule and my complete build studio running in this sub account, and my MCP server running in another sub account. And so I'm calling my MCP server with this destination, and this destination actually I'm consuming in the Joule agent. Okay. And that's what then finally we, so whatever I'm asking, Joule is sending it via this destination to MCP server. MCP server actually calling the ALM APIs and then delivering the information, and Joule is just structuring it and showing us as a conversations. Okay. Now someone asked in the call, what is agent? You understood what is agent. It can do some set of tasks. So this is theory part, maybe we did not cover, we directly Ram went into the hands on, right? So agentic AI, we say, wherever we manage agent, develop agent, train agent, we call the complete phenomena as a agentic AI. It can see, understand the goal, make the decision, plan action, interact with the system, execute the task autonomously. Okay. Like what Ram said, you have to teach your intern to do all of this, right? So that's what it does, right? Now we have Joule skills and Joule agents. So what is the see, individual capability and tools, intelligent orchestrators that use multiple skill. A Joule agent can have multiple skill. So take example. Let's say I want to create an agent which can onboard employee in success factors. So I can go and develop an agent in which I can create one skill, create employee. So for that, it will call the success factor API to insert employee data, employee first name, last name, all of that. Then it will go and create, because now success factor employees get created. So now how employee will authenticate? For that, it can call an API to create a user in SAP IS for authentication purpose, right? Now it will also assign a role. Now for IT ticket, it will call. So see, this is one agent which may have multiple skill, and these skills can communicate to multiple system via APIs, and all of these multiple skill will bind it to one agent which can do the complete task one by one as per I have defined in a workflow. Okay. So that's what we did, this hands-on, right, which Ram explained. I am creating an agent which can go to Cloud ALM and fetch the lot of information related to projects. And we explained this, right, how it is looking. I hope it helps. Understood?
So this agent will go back and bind into Joule only, right? End of the day, Ankit?
No. So you can say that Joule which I was integrating, it's a pre-delivered Joule. So I'm creating my custom Joule actually, you can say, behind the scene. I'm
Correct,
creating
correct.
my
So that
custom
agent
Joule
will,
actually.
in the case of custom Joule, the agent which you are trying to create will go and bind with my custom Joule, right? What
Yes,
what
you
the
can say that. You can say that.
okay, okay.
Yes. Yeah, Ram. So over to you now. You can go to the next step for AI foundation, where we can develop our own model or can use the models from different providers like GPTs and all. Over to you, Ram. You can share your screen.
Okay, thank you, Ankit. Let me share the screen. And let me know once you can see my screen and hear me.
It's visible, Ram.
Okay, so the next thing we are going to talk about, as per the slide, is this AI foundation part. This is where we are going to talk about AI Core and AI Launchpad and Gen AI Hub, right? So again, inside your BTP sub account, you have two services or one service and one application. So basically called the AI Core and the AI Launchpad. So what is this AI Core and what is this AI Launchpad? So AI Core, you can think of it as the primary way in which SAP allows you to use all these AI features. Let it be classic AI or let it be Gen AI, all that is happening with AI Core only. But the AI Core itself doesn't have a UI, right? So it's not a GUI based tool. So if you want to use pure AI Core, you can use it, but you have to use it through API calls, right? So you have to use Python request library or Postman as a tool to basically do something in the AI Core. So if I want to deploy a model, or if I want to
So
use a
Ram, do you
foundation
want me
model.
to first teach them infrastructure and then you go inside this? So
Yeah,
maybe
sure,
let me
sure.
do that. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, what Ram is trying to say, Ram is trying to say that, see, if I want to develop a machine learning model, definitely I will have to write a code, and then that code need to execute. And a code when need execution, it needs runtime. Like when you develop Python code or Java code, you install Java runtime and then run the Java on top of it. Similarly, AI core is nothing but the, you can say, complete server having computation, memory, storage behind it. Okay. So whenever you develop any model, you might write Python codes, right? And now you need an environment or resources, infrastructure on top of which it can run. So I can write the codes in, let's say, Jupyter Notebook. Like Jupyter Notebook is nothing but a where we can write a Python code, like Eclipse we have, Visual Studio Code we have. Similarly, Jupyter Notebook is for writing Python code. We have others also which we can use. I'm just taking the example of Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Now, whatever code you have written, the complete model should run, right? So I need an environment where I need to run. So this AI core is nothing but, you can say, a server to run the AI things, right? So this is AI core. Now, how you will access your server? So there are two ways. Either, any server will access. Maybe if I want to access the hardware network of my Windows machine, so I will write CMD, I will go and here I can write commands, right? So either I can use some command line tool to access this AI core, right? Or it's very nice if someone provide me UI tool to access that, right? So AI Launchpad is nothing but a UI based tool in which whatever models you have developed, AI Launchpad provide very nice user interface. In that you can say create, like deploy this model, test this model, right? Now an AI Launchpad is again connected to Generative AI Hub, which is actually availing the Claude model, GPT model, Entropy, Llama, multiple open AI models. The generative AI gives access to that. So in AI Launchpad, you can even connect so either you can develop your own code in Python and run classic machine learning model here, or you can use these models, pre-developed model, and then use them inside the Launchpad. So that's where what we see. So we don't have access to the server on UI directly, but there is a separate tool has been created which let me interact with this server to deploy, test, run, orchestrate, or also access the Gen AI hub and use the models from here and do a lot of things. Now, Ram, you can take over.
Put a picture to what Ankit just told, I'll share my screen. So here we are in the Discovery Center, right? So you can go and look at this Discovery Center. And this is basically what Ankit drew and show
Can you
you,
share your
right? So
screen?
Yeah, it is
I'm sharing.
shared.
It's visible.
Yeah, it's shared. Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can
thank
go
you.
and check out this diagram. So this clearly shows you how a sub account and an AI core instance and how the configurations, deployments, execution, and how a resource group, all of these are related, right? Some of these terms I'll show you now in AI Launchpad, and then you can put that in this picture exactly where they are, right? So this is basically the relationship between the AI core and the AI Launchpad. So AI core is where everything runs, and it's the instance of it's the resource that makes the execution possible. And AI Launchpad is a nice way to interact with it, right? So now let me take you to the AI Launchpad and show you how it looks like. Okay, and then they are on separate plans. So someone asked to talk about the plan and licensing a little bit. So we will do that in detail in the session. But to put a little info, so AI Core, if you want Gen AI Hub, you need to put a plan called extended. In the standard plan, you will only get classic machine learning. It will not have the Gen AI Hub like the foundation models. So if you need foundation models, you have to put the extended plan, and that's not available for free. It is paid. And then AI Launchpad is also a separate licensed tool. So that also has its own standard plan. So now I'm going into the AI Launchpad, which is the GUI where you can do all those things like deployments, configurations, and all that, right? So now when I go there, it is basically going to ask me to connect to a particular resource group and then work with it. Right. So I have two resource groups. So one is the default resource group that doesn't have a document grounding. And then I have one more resource group that has document grounding. So now I'll take one of these resource groups. And then let me show you what are all the options that are available in the Gen AI Hub, for example. Right. So the basic thing you can do in Gen AI Hub is you can go to the chat and just chat to it like the chat GPT, right? So you can go here, you can pick a model, and I can show you how many models are available in SAP's AI Core, right? So if you see here, there are 34 models hiding the deprecated ones, right? So if you see, there are a lot of these anthropic models. So all the way up to the 4.7 Opus, which is the pretty recent one. And then we have Cohere model, which is a partner company with SAP. They have this model. And then we have the popular OpenAI's GPT models, and again, all the way up to GPT 5.4. And we have Gemini models. Gemini models, we have Flash, Flashlight, and Pro. And we have Mistral models and Amazon Nova models, and some more OpenAI models, and Perplexity, Sona Pro, and SAP's own ABAP model is also there. So if you are an ABAPer creating RAP application and so on, SAP had 2, 3 of their own model. They didn't build it from scratch. They took a existing open source model and then they fine-tuned it and pre-trained it a little bit. So we have SAP models also. So we have almost 34 models. And you can see there are logos that suggest if a model has only text capabilities or it has image capability, it has PDF, it has video, what are all the capabilities and so on. So this is all the models that we have. For example, I have selected the Cloud Hike. Right, so I have selected the model. Now I can go and I can adjust the other parameters of this model, right? Like max token, temperature, and streaming response. So once I have set all that, I can basically now chat with the model, the very basic thing, right? So, hi, can you tell me about SAP AI Core Gen AI Hub? Right, so I ask a question or a prompt, and then it gives me a response, right? So now you can think, okay, what is very different here? Why can't I just go to ChatGPT or Claude directly and then use it, right? So this is basically SAP's enterprise AI. So they have some enterprise agreements with all these partnering companies. Like they will not use your data for training. They will have a high level of privacy, high level of security. Your data will not leak. You can copy and paste your enterprise data when you're asking some questions and so on. And all that guarantee will not be there if you're using your personal account or if you're using generally these models directly from the provider, right? So that is an agreement that SAP has with this provider. So you have that sandboxing where you are safe, your enterprise data is safe, right? So this is a very basic thing. You can chat with these models, and you can also, when you're going to the models, if you don't know which model to use for what, right? So you can use these filters to understand, okay, so I want image processing. So which are the models that support image processing? So that eliminates some models and only 29 remain. And then if you want to know which model is having a best rating, right? So then you can see this benchmark scores like Helm score, Chatbot Arena score, and so on. So that will give you a rough idea of, okay, which is the smartest model around. So it doesn't mean that every time you should only use the smartest model, because mostly the smartest model will be costly. So depending on your complexity of the task, if you just want some chat, right? So you can go with a very fast but cheaper model like Flash or Light or Haiku, that type of models. If you want some level of reasoning, you can go with the mid-tier model like Sonnet, GPT 4.1, 4.2, 5.1, 5.4, like that. If you want extreme intelligence, if you want it to do some architecture level decisions, if you want to have multi-step reasoning and so on, then go for the flagship model. So in Anthropic, it is Opus and so on. So how does it help? So you have this leaderboard here where you have this different benchmark scores, and then you can figure out, okay, so these are the scores. So I can pick out, okay, this model has better score than this. So this is how there are so many models that are supported by the AI core. And there is a complete list also available. If you want, you can go and you can go to a particular SAP note, which gives you this list, because this list keeps changing. Right? So whenever there are new models available, new models will be added. And whenever some of the models are getting deprecated, they will be removed. And all that is maintained in this particular SAP note. And these are the SAP partners, right? From where the models are coming: Mistral, NVIDIA, Cohere, Perplexity, OpenAI, etc. Right? So I'll put this in the chat. You can keep it, and then you can see what are the models that are supported. Exactly in the point of time when you are checking it, it will give you the latest list. So it's an ongoing live document. Okay, so that is about the models. So now, okay, this chat interface is okay. What else is here? If you want to go and store a prompt, for example, you want a prompt for summarizing emails or responding to an email, something like that, very simple task. You can go to the prompt editor, you can give a prompt, and you can give a name for the prompt, and you can save it so that it becomes reusable, right? So like that, you can do prompt edits. And then we have prompt management. There you can go and you can see the saved prompts. I haven't saved anything, so it's not showing anything. But if you have saved prompts, you can go here and you can edit it. And then you have orchestration. And in orchestration, you can do things like document grounding. For example, you are in a company, right? And you want to ask questions about your company, and it should respond based on your company information, right? It should not go and hallucinate based on whatever it knows. So if I go now without any grounding, right? So if I go to chat and if I ask something like how many days of annual paid leaves do I get, right? So if this model is smart enough, if it has inbuilt guardrails, it will tell something like this: I don't have information about your present employee situation, something like this. But if I say, uh, you know, if I'm using a very old model which doesn't have all this type of intelligence or something, and if I want specific information that the model's training data will not have, then I have to do something called as a document grounding, right? So I have to go and I have to take my company leave policy PDF, and then I have to put it inside a grounding source like S3 bucket or something. And from there, I have to create a grounding for my all these chats, right? So that whenever I create a particular chat, it will not give random answers, but it will always be grounded on the particular real. I think I picked the wrong resource group. So in the other resource group, we have, okay, so when you go to advanced, so you have the document grounding, and this is where by default, SAP gives you one document grounding source, which is the SAP help repository. So you go to help.sap.com, right, where you find all the, excuse me, where you find all the documentation about the different SAP products. So if you want your chat to be grounded on the SAP product information, you can add this by default, right? Like this, you can also create your own document grounding. We'll see that like during the actual session, we'll show you how to create your own document grounding and so on. And then here we have multiple options also. Like if the incoming text is in a different language and you want input translation, you can do that. And if you want the output to always be in a particular language, you can do output translation. If you want certain words, certain profanity, certain hate speech to be filtered, then you can do the input filtering. Sometimes when the model generates some text, there can also be indirect, indirect bias, right? So it can be against a particular race or particular ethnicity or something like that. Nowadays, more and more models are avoiding that, but still there is a chance because the pre-training data might contain bias, so the model can also produce bias. So you can add output filtering, and then you can decide, okay, so I want to filter certain things. And then we have data masking. So in your data that you're passing to the chat, if you have information which is sensitive, like social security number, your phone number, or credit card number, all that, you want to do data masking, you can also do that data masking. So the moment I keep adding all these interfaces, you see that the entire orchestrator has a chain of things. It's like a data pipeline. It has all these different nodes that are happening sequentially, right? So first we have the prompt, and then we have the input translation, and then we have the data masking, etc. Right? So all of this we will learn in the session where when to use each of them with multiple examples and so on. So this is the first part where you use Gen AI Hub to do your grounding based chat application, right? So you can ground based on your company policy. It's basically a RAG application without even you having to code anything, right? So everything is GUI based, and you can do it on the Launchpad itself. Okay, now that is done. Now what else do we have, right? So this is the core SAP AI core things. As an administrator, these are the things that you will do. So like setting up a resource group, setting up a GitHub repository, Docker container, etc. So I am skipping that for now. It's uninteresting little bit. So coming to the main ML operations, right? So ML ops are nowadays they call it LLM ops also. So this is where the DevOps kind of people, where they want to work in machine learning, they do all this kind of deployment and ongoing maintenance, and the seeing the machine learning models and seeing how capable they are and maintaining those scenarios and so on, right? So now in this we have two things, right? So one is we can create our own machine learning models. The other is we can use the foundation model. So I'll show you first the foundation models, how to create and deploy a foundation model. For example, we can already see that there is a Sonnet model which is deployed. So now let's try to deploy some OpenAI model. Okay, so I'll go to create in the configurations, and then here everything I can fill, right? So I can see multiple options here. So I want foundation model, and then the version I want is this. The executable I want. These are the SAP partners, right? So Cohere, Mistral, like that. So I want OpenAI, so I select that, and I decide what model I want to use. So I want to use GPT 5.4, right? So I have given all this information. So this is not the model name. This is just the configuration name. But for ease of understanding, I always give the model name as my configuration name. Okay. So in the second screen, this is where you actually give the model name and the model version. So here I want GPT 5.4. So I am giving that model name, and I want the latest version so that I don't have to go and keep changing the configuration every time there is an update, right? So I given my model name and set the version as latest. And finally, the input artifacts. For this foundation models, you don't have to specify any input artifacts. So it will be defined automatically by their internal foundation model configuration itself. So I can review and I can say create. Now what has happened is the system has created a configuration for the foundation models for the executable called Azure OpenAI. So inside this executable, you can see how many models are there. See, supported models. There is an entire list of models, right? So what model did we ask? We asked for this GPT-5.4, and that model is also supported. Other than that, there are so many models. So if you want any other model also, you can create another configuration and use one of these models. Okay. So now we have just created a configuration, right? So how do I now, can I already start using this model? No, because this is now just a configuration. Now we have to deploy this model. So how do we do that? So in the top, we have a button called create deployments. So you go to create deployments, and then you use this particular configuration to create a deployment. right? So it says foundation model, Azure OpenAI, GPT 5.4, and everything looks okay to me. I say create, and now the system will actually deploy this foundation model. So by deploy, what we mean, like Ankit said, AI Core is where it provides this runtime for this executable. So SAP somewhere in a Docker hub or somewhere it has this foundation models executable, right? So that executable is now being selected by our configuration file, and then it is going to be deployed in a AI core instance, and we will get that deployment URL. Once its deployment is successful, we'll get a deployment URL and we'll get a deployment ID. So that's the process of deploying a foundation model. It will take some time and then it will say deployed. But let's go to one of the older deployments and see how it will look like when it is in running status. Right. So if you see here, all the steps have completed. It is deployed and it is in running status, and we have a deployment URL also. So from now on, whenever I want to use the Claude Sonnet model, I know where it is running. I know its deployment ID. So if I have my AI Core credentials, I can start using this model. How do I get my AI Core credentials? So if I just try to access this URL, it's not going to allow me, right? Because it's an unauthorized access. So how do I get to this AI Core credential? So again, if you come back to your BTP screen, instances and subscription. So the first time we launched the AI Launchpad, where we got this screen. But if you look below, you have this AI core, and you have something here called as a key, right? So which is the credentials. So if you don't have that, you can go here and you can say create service key, and that will create a new service key for you. But I don't want to do that because already there is a service key. I can use it. So when I click the key, it will show the key value. And then if I click the download button, it will download the key. Ankit, is it okay to open it, or will you delete it later, or shall I not open it?
Go ahead, no problem. Whatever you want to do, no problem.
Okay, so the key will look like this, right? So once you click the download button, it will download this file as a JSON file. So it has some details like the client ID, the client secret, your authorization URL. Uh, See here, authentication URL, and then it will have your base API URL and everything. And if you compare this with here, you see here this api.ai.prod US East AWS ML, right? So this is the same base URL that you are getting here. So what this credential will enable the system to do is it will first go to this authentication URL using this client ID and client secret. It will obtain a token. Once it has a token, it can start using this API URL with any of our deployments, and then we'll be able to create any AI application, right? So I'll quickly show you one quick thing, right? So because we are running short on time, we'll do some Q&A also. So there is an extension in VS Code, which is called Cline, right? So I wanted to show you many things, but this is the best thing I can show you now, right? So there is an extension in VS Code, which is called Cline. So once you install this extension, it will be like this, a chatbot kind of thing inside your VS Code. And in that chatbot, you can go and configure your SAP AI Core credentials, right? So you can configure any of the credentials like OpenAI or Google Gemini or Anthropic, anything. But if you search for SAP AI Core, it will be a provider also. You will select that. And then you can enter your client ID, client secret, your base URL, and your authorization URL and everything. And then it will give you the list of models, right? So whatever models you have already deployed in your system, it will give the list of models, and you can pick whichever model you want to interact with. Once you say done, now you have an intelligent, coding agent for you, right? And then if you don't know to do any coding at all, either SAP AI related coding or in any coding in general, now this Cline is going to help you to do all that coding for you, right? So you can go and you can talk with it. See here, it is running out of my SAP AI Core GPT 5.4 model. I can go here. I can say, can you create a simple uh, hello world app in Python? It will create that right away. Same way, if I go and ask it, can you create a SAP Gen AI hub based chat application? It will create that. And then it will ask you, okay, maintain the environment file where you give all these details like the client ID, client secret, and everything. But still, it will be able to create that file. See here, this is a very simple file, hello world. So it's just creating it, hello world.py. So if I ask it, can you run and test it? It can even do that. Right? So I can go and say, can you run and test it? It will do that. So like this, we have a coding companion which you can use to do a lot of things. So I have created, so just before when Ankit was talking, I wanted to test this client. So I asked it to create a simple application based on the SAP AI Core to do a chat. So all this code I didn't write. I didn't go and refer to SAP's sample GitHub notebooks or anything. I just asked a coding agent and then it wrote all this for me, right? So that is the power of AI and that is the power of where we are at. And there are a lot of things that are happening around AI, especially inside SAP. So in this particular training, we will take you through hands-on approach. There will be very less theory. It will be all hands-on, and then we'll be covering a lot of things. And again, there is only 10 more minutes, so I give it back to you, Ankit, and we can open up for Q&A.
Thank you guys. So we could not cover business AI portion, but let me just quickly in 1 minute help you with that. So business AI part is nothing but, what we can do is SAP have already developed a lot of agents, lot of features which can be embedded inside the applications. So if I go here in Discovery Center where we see all the BTP services, we have a SAP Business AI section. And here we have all the agents which is developed by SAP or by customer or by their partner. And agents are not, agents are developed for multiple SAP solutions, for HCM, for finance management, for product lifecycle management, spend management, supplier, lot of, right? And these are all product we have. Concur agents are made for advanced financial planning or some features, not only agent, we have features also, okay, which are AI features inside those. So either you can go and so if it is a feature, you can go and enable this feature in your target application, or if it is agent, then you can deploy this agent and then use for particular scenario. So here, if you look at any, right, this is what it does. So this is AI feature, okay? And for to use this, you have to purchase AI units, and then you can go ahead and what it does and how to do initial setup of this. You all can go and check this, and then you can set up this. So you can say this is your business AI where pre-delivered AI features and AI agents. See, do two things are there which you can use with your business application, and there are a lot of them. We can just go and look into it. So definitely we don't have time, guys. That's why we could not do it properly. But yeah, just wanted to give you what is business AI. That's all. Okay. Now, what all the questions you guys have? We are open for 10 minutes or 15 minutes to take your questions, and then we let you go today.
Thank you, Ram and Ankit. It's quite informative. So you showed about the coding companion on Python. Can we also develop our own coding companion on iFlows? Let's say, for example, I wanted to ask generate an iFlow for so and so thing. Can I prompt that and will it do?
So actually, Joule itself can do that. So we can integrate Joule. So inside integration suite, there is an option if you have Joule enabled in your landscape, which is done if you see for us. Okay, you saw we have Joule, right? And you can go into integration suite and add the enable the Joule capability inside integration suite in settings. And you can ask that Joule, it can create a iFlow for you. Yes, you can do that.
Okay, and also if I get any errors in the iFlow when I'm executing an iFlow, and if I paste the error, and will it help? Because
Yeah,
I'm
so it also because Joule is already be know or have learned all help documentation or like the support tickets which are fully resolved, right? So it can even give you a hint what could be the mistake, and then you can go and check. Maybe it can say, hey, check this or check this or check this and resolve this, and then you resolve that and then go ahead and redo this, and then it may work. Yes.
And thanks, Ankit. And the same thing also with any, like you developed some custom Joule for COM, Cloud ALM, and then similarly you can also do for Signavio and LeanIX and other
Any
SAP
system you can develop. First of all, SAP is directly providing Joule and all with Signavio, but any custom API calls you want to call. So Joule agent would be going to do task-based things. So which Joule can just give you information. Joule might not do all the things, right? So for all the things, for actions which you want to do as per your business process via agent, so it is very well capable of calling APIs, being a part of workflow and looking at workflow, doing approval on its own by taking some decisions. That all then it can do. We can add
Okay.
multiple skills for each case and
Okay,
bundle
so
them as a
that
product
we're going
agent.
to learn in the course, right? If I join the course, like
Yes,
creating my
yes,
own
yes,
Joule,
yes.
and then
Yeah.
it
Yes,
should
going on.
create a requirement in Cloud ALM based on a process step. If I say, okay, from this process step, create a requirement in Cloud
So
ALM, and
definitely,
then
I will not assure you for which system scenario we'll do. We'll do 3, 4, 5 agents will develop. But now someone will say do for success factor, someone will say do for Ariba, so maybe we cannot do for all of them. But once you teach you the concept, how to call API, how to do that, how to see all the APIs available in business accelerator hub, those all will tell you 5, 6 agents we can create, and then you're sorted. So any new thing also you can do then.
Thank you. And one last question. I know a lot of people are waiting. For the document grounding, if I do the document grounding on SAP Activate, so will it actually guide the project members what to do next in each phase of SAP Activate?
Yeah, why not? Definitely. So any document, if you ground it, right? So even for Activate, I don't think you need to do a document grounding. So if you just go and enable that SAP help document grounding, it will already have documents about SAP Activate. And even without grounding, these AI models are constantly being trained on all the things that are available on the web, right? So it knows about SAP Activate. So it will generally have the knowledge of what Activate is. But if you have to ground based on your company's current things that are happening in your Activate, in your process, if you have an internal system where you are tracking all this, then yes, then yes, you need to do a document grounding.
Okay, and by doing this course, I should be able to, at least. I mean, I'm an architect. Basically, I want to do as a knowledge basis, and then if this is all possible, then I would like to implement this in my company.
Yeah, you will by attending this course, like Ankit said, you will get all the fundamentals of all this integration, RAG application, document grounding, orchestration, MLOps, and even we'll go to a little bit of knowledge graph and HANA vector storage and all that. But again, the which application are we integrating, that depends on whatever use cases we want to showcase. It might not be Cloud ALM, it might be Cloud ALM, it might not be Ariba, like that. So we will pick which application, which scenarios, but we'll cover all the foundations of.
No, that's fine. So once we know how to do it, then we can do with any application. And thank you so much. And when is the course starting and what are the course contents? Can you please share in the chat?
Let's go with the questions. So guys, you reach out to us, whoever want to know the details and all. You have WhatsApp, right? Please reach out to us for course and all, okay?
Please go on in the hands order, basically. So whoever has raised the hand. So yeah, maybe go ahead one by one. Yeah.
Ram, I have a session in next 4 minutes. I might go. So please take the questions and then we can close the call because I have a session right now. Guys, I hope you like the session. Any queries, anything, please reach out to us.
Hey, Ankit, quick one, Ashish this side. So, you mentioned about all the different SAP applications connecting to BW's, right? Workzone, and in that, will there be separate sites for each applications, or a master Joule will be talking to each sites? Like if
One
I have
site
access
we
to.
can have multiple apps. If you want to have multiple site, that also you can do. All possibilities are there. Only one site also, 2 site, 3 site, 4 site, totally depends upon how you want to design your centralized landscape. Maybe you want to have keep separate for social feeds or updates for your employees. Maybe you want to have separate one for all system access. Maybe you want to have separate one for different. So you might club them or you might want to have multiple sites also. That's all possible.
Just like a Fiori, right? Similar to Fiori.
You can
It's
say
like a
that.
SharePoint sites. Yeah.
SharePoint
Ankit,
sites.
would it be possible to include the corporate IDP instead of cloud instead of
We do that. So
IaaS?
so generally that all will get covered in security sessions, how to include corporate ID. So we integrate
Because
IAS with.
the reason being I'm asking, most of the customers already have the corporate
So we
IDP.
cover that. We cover that as a part of security session. If you want in AI course, just to add that, maybe I can show you that one topic, not a problem.
My question is, we don't want to use cloud identity service for Joule.
See, you have to use cloud identity services in middle. Directly corporate identity product will not work. Your Joule, nothing will work. IS have to be in between.
Proxy,
Maybe you're not using it. You're using in proxy mode, but using AD actually. But IS must be there. You cannot skip that.
Yeah,
Nothing will
IIS will
work
be
on
there,
BTP.
but we don't want to create users. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all. So these all we discuss in security sessions we can discuss. But anyways, I can still run a scenario if you really want it. Fine, guys. Let's go with the questions one by one. I see SEA. C. Can you please go with your question?
Okay, I'd like to ask, right, on the BTP cockpit, if I have success factors, can't I combine success factors S4 into one Joule sub account? Or do I have to have different sub accounts for success factors for Joule, success factors for
So success factors is
SF,
not
success
running in
factors for
sub account. Success factor is has a separate cloud landscape, right? It is not running on BTP, correct? It's a separate entity altogether running on somewhere Azure or AWS, which is managed by SAP. Okay. So there is no point of sub account of success factors.
But your
Yeah, you
Joule,
can.
which integrates with
Yeah.
success factors, that can run in any sub account. So
Correct.
if you want to centralize one Joule, so it's about how you architect it. If you want to have one Joule running and connecting to multiple things, you can do that. But if you want to isolate, you want a Joule to run for success factors standalone, you want another Joule to run for Ariba, like that also you can architect. It's
So
basically
guys,
how you
actually,
architect.
we run solution. Yeah, so see, we run a solution architect course and we are heavily added AI portion there. It was we were not doing previously, but now in architect also we are heavily doing some AI architecting aspects we are covering from the current batch. There we talk on architecture perspective very well. Okay, very in
because
detail.
the last architecture group I was in, there wasn't AI. That's why I'm asking this one. Okay, now moving on to the other one where you say AI client on VS Code. I can write a CAP application with AI.
Yeah, you can do a CAP application with AI. Yes. So that's the primary purpose of that client. So some months back, even the SAP CEO Christian Cline, he posted about this Cline and the support for AI core in the Cline. You have many coding tools now, the popular one being the Cloud Code, for example, but they all require their own subscriptions. For example, Cloud Code, you have to have a Cloud Max subscription or Cloud Pro subscription, and you have to pay for that separately. But if you already have SAP AI Core, which you are anyway already paying for or your company is paying for, then why not use that as your coding companion also? So that's where the client comes in, which is a free coding tool, free and open source tool. It has a GitHub repository where you can go and contribute also. So this free coding tool allows you to use your provider as SAP AI Core so that you can use your SAP AI Core credentials. So you don't have to buy a subscription of say GitHub Copilot or Cloud Code or anything. So it's basically free for you to use if your company is paying for the AI Core.
To now subscribe to Joule as well, although I have AI Core.
yeah, you do.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Let me take it to the next level. The same question: is there a programming language that is dominant in this area in AI? Is it
Python and JavaScript?
Yeah.
Python and JavaScript are the front runners, but the emerging ones that might take over because of the sheer performance can be Golang and Rust, right? So the things that are going back, so the things that used to be very good for enterprise software, but that is taking back in the AI world is C++ and Java. So they are good, but somehow AI is not generally very adaptive for this. I mean, it's basically good, but still they are lagging. And currently the front runners are Python and JavaScript, but the top contenders when it comes to performance, parallelization, and all that is Rust and Golang. So these are the languages. And there is a GitHub repo that talks about this, like that tracks how much contribution by this AI assistants like Copilot and Cline and Claude, all these are pushing into GitHub. Based on that, it will track all these languages and give the ranking to them. So if you Google search on the language ranking by coding agent, you will know the latest, which is at the top. So mostly it will be either JavaScript or Python. They keep switching. Okay, I got muted. So did you hear me? Did you hear my response? Did it get cut?
So we heard your response. Thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Ram, guys, I'm
Can,
leaving the call.
can,
So please, if any query, please reach out to us via WhatsApp. Ram, please take the questions and then you can let them go. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Sure.
Bye bye. I have a class
Thank you,
at
everyone.
Sir, excuse me. The ABAP is anywhere on the list? Is it anything? Is it something in the future, or ABAP is not any good, no more good?
Okay, so for ABAP, so it's about the foundation models like the LLM and how they are trained, right? So if you take a general purpose LLM like Cloud or OpenAI, they can do basic ABAP. But if you go to a level of object-oriented ABAP, or if you want to create a wrap application out of ABAP, you want to follow all the best practices, etc., they'll be lagging, right? So they'll not do very good ABAP code. That's where SAP trained their own ABAP models. Like they didn't pre-train a basic model. They took a open source model like Gwen or some of these open models, and then they trained with a lot of their ABAP code so that it becomes good at ABAP. So in SAP AI Core, like I showed you, out of those 38 models, there was one ABAP model. So if you are doing any ABAP coding, ABAP wrap applications, ABAP object oriented, etc., then that model will give you best results. But if you generally go inside Cline, if you use GPT 5.4 or something like that, and if you try to generate ABAP code, basic ABAP code, yes. If you say, okay, read bunch of records from internal table and print it, it will do that. But if you say entire application logic just in natural language and you let it architect something, it will give a crap ABAP code.
Okay.
So Ram, can you please take questions by the raise hand order? Please take the name and let the person ask question
Okay.
because it's
Sure.
I was about to say that.
Please go in that order, guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the order. I think only the
I
host sees the
understand.
order.
I mean, let's follow the queue. So this is Indan. I was in the queue. So my question is, we saw that you mentioned about building a custom model, right? So is that Python basic part or understanding is part of the course, or it is just the how you showed that how client is generating the code, and you will just touch upon that part of the code?
You mean customizing a model, fine tuning a model?
Yes. Yeah. Custom model, building custom model.
No, that is not part of the course because building custom models is very resource intensive. If you are interested, I can maybe share some resources and you can go and check out about them. But that is not part of the code. That goes into the domain of AI research and it's very GPU intensive, and it's not doable actually. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Next question, Ram, is again, you showed in the demo there is a custom MCP server one of your colleague has developed.
Yes.
Is this something will be covered in the course, like building a custom MCP? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we will cover all the popular MCP servers that exist and what are the MCP servers that are very helpful in the SAP world. And then we'll also show you how to build your own custom MCP server. And then we'll also show you if there are some API that exist already, how do you do MCP wrapper so that it becomes a MCP server. So you can take any API, for example, weather API or something, and then immediately in 1 or 2 lines of code, you can make it into a MCP server.
Okay. Thank you. And the S/4HANA private cloud, right? Access will be provided as part of the training, or
that you do a WhatsApp or mail to Ankit because I don't know about the access part because he has multiple courses and he has multiple plans. So he has a S/4HANA private cloud. He purchased it for BDC, but I don't know if it will be part of this course or not. So you can drop a WhatsApp to Ankit.
Okay. The reason I'm asking whether the step-by-step activating Joule in that private cloud Fury Launchpad or connecting BW Work Zone, Joule centrally, right? To that private cloud, is it
so
part
if
of the
required for all these applications like Cloud ALM, S4, etc., Ankit will create a destination or whatever is required, but you might not get direct access to those systems. So whatever for the AI part, you will get access to the build work zone, you will get access to the Joule Studio, etc. You will create all the objects, but the end system in which we are connecting to, etc., that you might not get a end user access.
And if we have a system, can we get a step-by-step document to connect to our system? I mean, if I have a S/4HANA system. Okay. Thank you.
Not only a document, we'll show those steps also.
I have just a couple of questions. So when I inquired about this course, I saw this video online, where somebody was using, like you said, Cloud Code to transact with SAP. So that actually piqued my interest. So I have just a couple of questions. One is, is it possible to use this to also execute transactions? This is the first question. And my second question is, are we able to use this to integrate multiple enterprise tools? For example, if I talk about, let's say, lead to order, I create, let's say, the opportunity ID on the CRM tool, and then follow it up, for fulfillment and invoicing, let's say, using SAP. So am I able to do the entire thing using a tool like Claude or maybe Cline, whatever you showed? So these are my two questions. Even if that may not be shown, but if I can get a way of doing it, and I can explore it on my own as well.
Yeah. So the exact process that you want, I mean, the exact same application might not be the use case we show, but what is the fundamental of triggering something like this? The use of hooks, the use of MCP, the use of agents and tools, and tool calling and integration, and all the IAS, IPS, all these touch points, all that end-to-end process will be covered, and all the coding agents, the 2 3 popular coding agents like Cloud Code and Cline and Copilot, all this will be covered. But again and again, the one thing that we want to highlight is someone might want a specific application, like they want to do something on Ariba, something on Salmon, something on a particular XYZ application. That we cannot say which application or use case we are going to cover. So that can be anything. But the idea, if you get it, it will be transferable to any of the other applications
Yeah,
also.
no, absolutely. So, for example, you see anything that is non-SAP. So if
Yeah,
I'm able to use the agent to combine information from a non-SAP platform and an SAP platform using MCP, if that is demonstrated, then we can explore our respective tools, which for our use case.
exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how we cover it here.
Yeah, for analytics consultant, how beneficial this course would be versus the DataSphere BDC that covers Databricks as well, from your perspective.
So for analytics consultants, that is primary, right? So the BDC course and the Databricks course is primary. But for any SAP consultant, this AI is very important because this is going to be disruptive. If SAP is going to pull off what they are promising this year with their omnipresent Joule, they are partnering with a lot of companies like WalkMe and Perplexity and so on. And they are creating a lot of things like this experience layer, business answer engine, and so on. So if they're able to pull this off, it's going to displace a lot of jobs in SAP, right? And then whoever is at the niche of all these AI, they'll be safe compared to whoever it is not on AI. So I would say, irrespective of whether you are a data analytics consultant, even I am a data analytics consultant. So now it's not optional anymore. We all have to be equipped on AI. But as a data analytics consultant, that BDC and Databricks will also be very beneficial too.
Absolutely. So if I jump on this course, I know you and Ankit are planning on starting the BDC with BDC with Databricks. Will that have any conflict from a timing standpoint?
Exactly, the timing is not confirmed yet, but ideally there should not be a conflict. But the right person to answer is Ankit, so you drop him a WhatsApp and then yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hi
Hey,
Ram. Just
Ram.
Guys, go on the order, please. So if your hand is higher, please go ahead.
just a follow-up question on the same one. Like, as the functional consent, will it be just a additional knowledge gain, or can someone actually transition from a functional role to a SAP AI engineer role, kind of?
Yes. So if you are, if you are a mid-range professional, say 5 to 10 years of experience, you can switch to a AI developer or a AI engineer role very easily. It's hard for a very fresh person to switch, right? So if they are very fresh, they'll not know the SAP landscape and they'll jump directly into the AI world. So they can get a position like a AI intern or something, but not as a AI engineer or as a AI developer, but for someone who is between 5 to 10 years, it will be good to transition. And someone who is very experienced, who has 20 years or 15 plus years, etc., they can transition into, they might not even need to be transitioning. They might already be an architect, or they might already be in a very high position, and they can now also add AI to their belt, and they can be a AI SAP AI architect, right? So for these two people, like mid-career professionals and experienced professionals, it's easy to change their designation or to annex this AI skill. But for a person who is very new or very fresh, I would say, getting a role is difficult. Even if you get it, it will be like a AI intern. They'll not directly put you as AI developer or a AI engineer, because you might know AI, you might have learned from all this, and you might know AI, but you will not know the functional and technical stuff of SAP landscape. So for that reason.
Okay, thanks.
Hey Ram, this is Sam.
Hi Sam.
Yeah, I'm in the second place, so I'll go by order. So thank you for your presentation. It's amazing. You did great job on the hands-on. My first question, two questions I have. My first question would be, every target application has its own Joule embedded layers, right? Where SAP provides to ask the questions, right? So can we be creating a custom skill and integrate within that existing embedded layer? Is it possible, or only the standalone Joule work zone layer? So what is your point of view?
So they are going to expose where the customer can add capabilities to the embedded Joule, but I don't know the timelines yet.
Okay, and one last question. The ABAPers for the developers, right? They use the ADT, which is a Eclipse based tool where they write the
ABAP
code.
development tool, yeah.
Yes, right. So the Joule is available for that, but it doesn't create like a cursor AI. It's a predictive code it generates. So I have to copy and paste manually. So how advancement of Joule in that point of view for ABAPers?
So again, ABAPers have to change their tooling. They have to come to VS Code, and then they have to install plugin and extensions to use ABAP in VS Code. But again, I know that some of the features that are there in ADT are not there in the extensions in VS Code. But again, VS Code has very good AI support, whereas Eclipse has very bad AI support. So I have seen my friends who are ABAPers doing this thing. They have same project opened in the ADT also. They have the same project opened in VS Code also. When they do AI things, they do it in VS Code. When they do ABAP things, core ABAP things, they do it in ADT. But that's what they have to live with. That's the reality.
No, you're right. You're right. That's the toughest point. The ABAPers not getting the full fledged of AI Joule. Okay, thank you so much. I'll let others ask. Appreciate your session.
Thank you, sir.
Hi Ram, yeah, thanks for the session. So I'm like a SAP web consultant, mostly into supply chain modules and in EWM kind of systems. So for me, like as you just now explained, for AI developer versus AI architect. So what are the other additional skills the AI architect should contain here to differentiate from AI developer, and how this course will benefit to match to that skill set?
See, for an AI developer or AI engineer, it's very simple. They have to know how to create this AI skills, AI agents, and AI custom MCP servers, and so on. So at a single solution level. But for an AI architect, it's going to be the big picture. They have to know how a landscape is designed, how these things are connecting to each other, how the destinations are created, where does IAS fit in, where does IPS fit in, and what is the broad picture of SAP Business AI, what is AI Foundation. So they have to know the entire solutioning perspective, so that when the customer is talking in the early stages also, they should be, for example, if you have some core skills like your ABAP and EPM and so on, from that area, you should be able to tell, okay, these are the SAP Business AI skills. You can find them from Discovery Center. And with that, you have to be able to give a proper solution for the future. You have to say, okay, this is where SAP is moving, and this is the right time we start moving towards the new architecture. And you propose a new architecture, and you propose the benefits also. Okay, these are the things that we can do, this is how much it's going to cost us, and these are the benefits. So that level of details, if you pull it off based on your experience, then you are an AI architect. But for an AI engineer or AI developer, it's very straightforward. If they know to build individual solutions, they are good to go as an AI developer. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Ram. Bye-bye.
Thank you.